What is up, bookworms? This is Dani Reads, and today I am doing a tag. So today's tag is the Reader Problems tag. It was created by About to Read. I will link the original video down below. I saw Heather at Bookables do it, so I will leave her video linked down below as well. I watch all of her tag videos and they are so spot on most of the time. So yeah, I love her. She's great. Go check out both those videos. So there are quite a few questions, so let's just get into it. So the first question is, you have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? I am such a mood reader that most of the time I'll kind of have an idea of what I want to read next. And if I'm really not in the mood for anything specific, I will just go to my TBR jar and pull something out of there. And that usually works most of the time. Because right now I have like over 400 books on my TBR, so I kind of understand like this feeling of not knowing what to read and having so many books to like choose from. So yeah, usually if I'm not in the mood for something, I'll just pick something from my TBR. Or I'll go on Goodreads and check out and see what everyone else is reading at that time. Number 2. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? I'm committed. I think I've only DNF'd one book in my entire life. And it wasn't even something, it was not even like a fiction book. I think it was, I'm trying to think of what it was. It was something about like introverts, I believe. It was pretty recent that I DNF'd it. I just like wasn't into it. I thought it would be something that it wasn't, and yeah, so I DNF'd it. That is the one and only book that I've ever DNF'd. I have to finish it. I feel like if I don't finish it, then I don't have a right to rate it, and I always want to look back and see like what I rated something. And sometimes by the end it gets better, so why not give it a full chance? Number 3. The end of the year is coming, and you're so close but so far away from your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? I've never had a problem with meeting my Goodreads goal. I'm usually over by a couple of books every year. But if I was behind by a handful, what I'll usually do is I'll read short books and I'll listen to audiobooks. I usually can get through audiobooks fairly quickly. And since I'm pretty used to listening to them like a lot, I can do it on a faster speed than like regular, so I can get them done a little bit quicker. And short books, I mean, if you could just grab a book and you take 3 hours of your day and you just slam through it, another awesome way to get your book number up. Number 4. The covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? Thankfully, I have not dealt with this. I'm avoiding dealing with it with the Lunar Chronicles series. You're gonna see in one of my other videos that I don't have Winter because Winter didn't come out in paperback, and I am like refusing to buy it in paperback or in hardback, so because then it won't match. So I like don't know what to do, and so right now I'm just avoiding it. I'm not coping with it. I'm just not dealing with it. I do also struggle with like when certain authors, if all of their stuff is neither paperback or hardback, but it's something that I'm starting to just kind of get over. Number 5. Everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond over shared feelings? The person I probably bond over shared feelings most with is there's actually 2 people. One would be my spouse, Heather. We tend to like a lot of the same books. I feel like there's a handful of them that we both like, either of us like, one of us likes and one of us dislikes. Most of the time we're on the same thought wave with everything. And then the other person would be my best friend. Just like with Heather, there's a couple of books that we've kind of disagreed on, but most of the time I can like text her and be like, oh my god, this book sucked, and she can like, she'll text me back and be like, oh yeah, wasn't it horrible when this happened? So it's just like, it's really great to have like two people like really close to me that like just get it. But if they both are on the same team and I'm on the opposite team, I'll hit YouTube, because there's for sure gonna be someone on YouTube that doesn't like that book with you, and then you can just bond with that person. Number 6, reading a book and you're about to start crying in public, what do? I will shut the book and put it away, because I am an emotional mess. If I start crying, like I'm the type of person where if I start crying I can't stop, which is ridiculous. Like, it's not even funny. So yeah, I will just shut the book, put it away, stop thinking about it, immediately start doing something else. If I have, you know, an audiobook I can listen to, I'll plug that in really quick and just kind of listen to that and kind of get my mind off of what I was reading. And then as soon as I get home, I will just let me feel my feelings. Number 7, a sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you've forgotten a lot of the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, cry in frustration? Honestly, what I do is I will read the back of the book again, of the first book, and then I will go on a website, I think it's called The Recaptors or something like that, and there's this website where these people will write like descriptions of like what happened in every single book, and they'll have like series and stuff, which is really great. So I'll link that link down below as well, because they save my life all the time. Like, then I'll just skim through that and be like, oh yeah, now I remember exactly what happened, and then you can start the other book without having to reread the entire book. Sometimes I will reread the book just because I enjoyed it so much that it's great to just go back in and then be in that world to then get into the sequel. Number 8. You do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell them nope when they ask? I've never had that issue, because I used to actually lend out books a lot, and I've definitely learned my lesson that people aren't going to care about your stuff as much as you care about your stuff. So now the people who borrow my books I've had no problems with, because they've literally been family. What I'll usually do is I'll turn it into like, hey, if you ruin this book in any way, you have to buy me a new one. And then usually they'll be like, oh, never mind, I'll get it from the library or something. But yeah, I really don't get in that situation where people ask to borrow my books, because most of the people I know either own all the same books I do, or will just be like, oh, let's go buy it, and then we can like discuss it separately. Number 9, reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? Honestly, the thing I'll do is I'll go on Goodreads and see all the books that I'm currently reading, and whatever one I'm farthest along in, I will pick that one up and I will just finish it, and then I'll go back to my currently reading on Goodreads, pick the next one, and then just go with it, because I'm the type of person where if I allow myself to keep jumping from book to book, I will do it forever. So I just have to kind of set some rules with myself and be like, hey, this is what has to happen at this time, so just get it done. And then usually I can clear out my currently reading, and then I can start all over with the vicious process. Number 10. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? 1, maybe 2. I'm not really hip onto what's coming out as like new, unless I'm watching a lot of book hauls and people are like saying that, oh, like these just came out this month, blah, 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 or they're getting arcs and they're like, oh, it comes out in this month. I might jot a couple down, but more than likely I will see if my library has it first. Just because my home library is so big right now, it's harder for me to justify buying a book than it is to say no, just because my TBR is huge and I need help with that first before dealing with brand new books coming in. Number 11. After you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? Honestly, new books sit on my shelf forever. I don't know why, but I will be so excited to have it and I will put it on my shelf and then totally forget about it for at least 6 months to a year. During that time I'm getting to other books, which I think is great because that means I'm getting to my older books first. But yeah, they usually sit for a decent amount of time before I even put them in a TBR or consider picking them up. All right, that was the last question for the reader problems tag. I tag all of you. This tag was created a couple years ago, so I'm pretty sure most people on the internet have done it, but if you liked it or want to redo it, that's awesome. Link your videos down below and I will for sure to watch them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Keep reading, keep smiling. Bye guys.